And welcome back to another episode of Watch Me Mix. We are about to get into the trumpets and some strings, it looks like, after doing this big old stack of synths. So let's jump right in, take a listen to this trumpet track. Okay, so it's like a synthesized trumpet. Sounds fine. This is the first thing we've heard so far that's like a lead sort of style. I'm assuming there's going to be a vocal lead, but you can see it's sort of sparse here. So this is going to be a fairly important part in the sense that it will jump out. All these synths are sort of atmospheric background, and then we've got this percussion loop, which is throughout, but again, rhythmic background, drums, bass. So this is the only part we've heard so far during the chorus that is lead-ish. But even given that, it's some very sort of legato style lines. It's not a lot of sharp notes. It's long and held. So it's important to consider that as you're listening through, keep in your mind, what else is happening, even though you're not listening to things. One of the tips I hear a lot is, try not to mix too much in solo. And it's a really, really good tip. But there is a reason that the solo button exists. You want to hear exactly what's happening here. And you also want to keep sort of in your mind's ear, if you will, as opposed to your mind's eye, your mind's ear, what else is happening as best as you can. And you don't want to spend hours and hours with this in solo. You'll notice as I mix other things, if you've watched the previous videos in this series, you notice that I mix things individually and against each other, but I'm always going back to listening to the whole group. And that's really important. So let's listen to this. It sounds like multiple instruments. It's a cool sort of synthesized trumpet sound. Again, just pulling out any subsonics. There's not really any there. This is the tonic frequency. This is the main frequency that you're hearing. And then you can see all the overtones here. If you want to get into the actual acoustics and stuff, trumpets and wind instruments in general are really cool to look at in EQ curves because you can see visually the tonic as well as the sequential overtones. It's really neat. Sometimes you can even see undertones depending on the type of instrument it is. But yeah, so we'll take out any subsonics. I'm going to boost a little brightness and I'm going to probably compress it just a touch and see what that sounds like. See if I can bring out some more sort of top end with that. Can hear the top end vibrato. That's what is happening over here, and I want to make sure that comes out. For which compressor, I'm going to use the vintage FET compressor here. Yeah, so that's all. Just a few dB of compression and a little EQ. Again, similar to that drip sound we were looking at earlier, this one probably wants some reverb, but I'm going to leave reverb to the end. Just want to get things organized. So let's listen to that against everything else that we've mixed so far, which is all of this. I'm going to pull it all the way back and slowly bring it in. Now here's something interesting. I can hear and see that it's panned to the left. Take a look at the faders over here. You can see the level meter show it's panned to the left. So it's a stereo track that's already got some panning on it. I'm actually going to put it right in the middle for now. So I'm just going to play it back and change the panning and put it right in the middle. My guess is I'm going to go back to wanting it panned off to the left once I get the vocal going, but I just want to hear it in the middle for now, that's all. Okay, so let's take a listen to these three over here. Okay, just some strings. This is during that sort of post-chorus when these synths are happening. So let's see how they sound relative to each other first. Beautiful. Now, just for my own sanity, I'm going to pull this one. I'm actually going to put it above. I really like having the low frequency stuff, the bass stuff, up higher if I can. So in this little trio here, we've got the double bass, we've got a string, and then we've got this little extra little tiddly bit right here. So in my mind, this order makes sense. But whatever you got to do, some people don't mind the different orders. So this one, I want to listen to this bass against everything else, see how it meshes with the bass that exists or doesn't exist during that part. Yeah, so there's no bass except for there is this bass synth happening here. So basically it's that bass synth against this double bass addition. Yep, okay. And this level works okay, I think. Acoustic guitar. So let's listen to this section coming out of that big loud chorus. This finger symbol seemed a little loud to me. This one is good. So one of my favorite tips of all time here to change the level of one thing on a whole track. You don't have to automate. Really, really easy tip. You can hold down hold down Command as long as your Command click tool has been set to the marquee tool. Hold down Command, select it, hit T, then G. Now we have the gain tool. We can drag this down a few dB, maybe let's say 3. Hit T, then T again, and we're right back to where we started. Really, really simple. I'm going to go down 1 more dB, so I'm going to hit T, then G, back to the gain tool, bring this down again, T, T, right back to where we started. Cool. So that tip, by the way, that little volume change tip that I just did right here, I've done a whole video on. I think I've done 2 videos on that now. But yeah, you can check that tip out. It's one of my favorite little tips. I'm going to stop this video here. This is a little bit of a shorter one because we're going to get into the vocals in the next episode. And you can see there's quite a few of them. So this is going to take probably a couple episodes to go through. There's a lot of them, but similar to the synths, I think they're done fairly tastefully. So yeah, I'll stop it here and we'll go on to the vocals in the next video. Here's a little preview. A little preview there. So I'll see you in the next video. We'll attack these vocals.